Hey friends, welcome to your English Language Arts lesson for the day. Today we are going to look at commas with a series. So first I want to tell you what a series is. In a sentence specifically, a series is basically a list. So if you're listing something in your sentence, in like the technical language of English Language Arts, we call that a series. And when you list things in a sentence, you should be putting a comma Let's start that sentence over. When you are listing things in a sentence, you should put a comma behind every single noun that you're listing except the last one. And we'll see that many times on this poster. So don't worry if you don't really get what I'm saying for now. There's going to be a term that I'm going to be using a lot in this example, and the term is called the Oxford comma. There's a chance you've heard it before. If you haven't, and this is your first time, I really want you to try to remember that term, the Oxford comma, okay? All right, so I'm going to read example 1, and then we'll figure out what we're supposed to do with it together, okay? So we need to correct the sentence by adding 2 commas. So in the first few examples, they're going to tell you exactly how many commas you need to add, okay? So we're looking, when we read the sentence, we're looking for the list. Where is the list of something? And when we find the list, that's where the commas are going to go, okay? So Ava and Lila wanted to decorate the guest bedroom with lanterns, shells, and a model ship. So there's the list. I hope you caught it, right? Ava and Lila, if it's 2 things, it's not a list. It's just a pair, okay? It has to be at least 3 things to become a list. So Ava and Lila wanted to decorate the guest bedroom with, here's the list, lanterns, shells, and a model ship. 3 things, right? So officially it's a list. Now where do the commas go? Like I said, the first comma should go behind the first noun, lanterns, okay? And where does the second one go? It goes behind the second noun, shells. So the correct sentence says, Ava and Lila wanted to decorate the guest bedroom with lanterns, shells, and a model ship. So 2 things. First of all, let's remember that the purpose of commas is to pause. It's just to add a natural pause. If you didn't have the commas, you would sound like this. Ava and Lila wanted to decorate the guest bedroom with lanterns, shells, and a model ship. Without the pause, you're like, wait, what are lantern shells? Or like, it gets confusing, essentially. You don't want to make the list sound like it's like compound words. They should be separate items, which is why you pause with the commas. The other thing is, this is the Oxford comma. And so I'm going to quickly try to explain that before we do the next example, okay? At some point when we were creating all the rules for the English language, which just so you know, it didn't happen overnight. All the rules for the English language are still being developed and had been developed over a long period of time. People got into arguments about whether you should have a comma right before the word and. Because some people felt like this and does the same job as the comma, so you don't really need both. I happen to think that the Oxford comma, which is the comma that comes before the and, is a great thing. I think it really helps because you still want to pause before you read the and for your last noun. So long story short, there's been a lot of debate about whether to keep this comma around. Sorry, friends, for the interruption. Maybe there's like an angry ghost in my room who doesn't like the Oxford comma, causing some mishap. Long story short, I don't want to take too much away from the rest of the lesson, but basically, for a while, there was a lot of dispute over whether to include that. So sometimes you'll read texts that don't have the comma before the word and that's because not everyone agreed on it. In the IXL lessons, you will always be asked to include it, okay? Because that's considered the more proper way at this point in time, okay? Moving on. Example 2. Correct the sentence by adding 3 commas. So they're telling us exactly how many commas we need to put in our list, okay? Stephen planned the celebration for Zoe, Erin, Maria, and Megan while they were at work. So hopefully you caught the list. If you haven't, read through the sentence, see if you can find it. There's 1 noun list in the sentence. What's being listed? Stephen planned the celebration for Zoe, Aaron, Maria, and Megan. 4 people, 4 proper nouns, which is why we're going to need 3 commas, okay? First one comes after Zoe. Okay, Zoe. Second one comes after Aaron. And then here comes our Oxford comma behind Maria right before the word and, okay? It's as simple as that, friends. It's really straightforward. I think you're going to do fine at this. But it is important because I can't tell you how many times this year I saw people writing lists without commas, okay? All right, let's move on to the next example. So as you continue on in the skill, they will stop telling you exactly how many to include, and you just have to figure it out by reading through the sentence. So it says, correct the sentence by adding a comma or commas. How many? You have to decide, okay? So Mr. Cyrano enjoys reading Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Haunting of Hill House the week before Halloween. So hopefully we all know there is no such book called Dracula, Frankenstein, right? Those are separate texts. So Dracula gets a comma behind Dracula. Frankenstein gets a comma because that's the Oxford comma, and we use the Oxford comma in this exercise, okay? So Dracula, Frankenstein, here's the and, so we're done. 2 commas, that was it, okay? One more, and this time I want you to try and see if you can figure out where the commas would go before I'm done, okay? Correct the sentence by adding a comma or commas. Again, it's not going to specify how many to put as you continue on in the exercise. Grayson thanked his parents, his sister, and his uncle when he accepted the award. First question, what's being listed? Hopefully you can find it, right? Where's the list? What is the list of? That's right. He thanked his parents, his sister, and his uncle. So we're listing family members, okay? That's the list. The first comma goes behind his parents. The second comma goes behind his sister. And that is our Oxford comma because the word and comes right afterwards. So that's it. We're done. His parents, his sister, and his uncle when he accepted the award, okay? That's that, friends. It's as simple as that. You just need to find the list, then put a comma behind every item in the list except the last one, okay? And don't forget your Oxford commas. Good luck, friends. I'm sure you'll do great at this. And if you don't, you can ask for help. Bye.